My next guest has been called the greatest of all time when it comes to contestants on The Bachelor. I'm talking like actually The Bachelor, like Bachelor Nation. She was a contestant on season 25 with Matt James. She is hilarious. She's genuine, fun-loving. She loves pickleball, that's for sure. And she's been a friend of mine for more than 10 years. Not gonna lie, we lost touch somewhere in the middle. But in the last few months, we have reconnected over a huge shared life experience. But I'll let her tell that story. Welcome to Disengaged, the podcast. I'm Leah Harding, and our next guest is Saneh St. Clair. It's happening. Okay, let's start. We'll get going.
The
I do your
audio
intro.
quality is so good that I feel like we're in the same room right now.
Yes,
That's how it feels on my end.
It's this little baby.
It's like an ASMR mic. It's great. Yeah, exactly.
Looking back, I was looking through your resume online and just deep diving again. And I'm like, you have one of the most fun bios
Really?
ever, especially like there. It's so niche. It's so unique. Like Florida Homecoming Queen 2017. What, like, who else
Go
can say that?
Gators,
No one.
baby.
Yeah. Yeah. Go
Go
Gators.
Gators.
And then you also are a pickleball model.
I play competitive pickleball and work with pickleball brands. Just
Incredible.
yeah, unforeseen. Not on my bingo card.
But it's
It's
great.
been
I love
awesome.
when the pictures come up. I'm like, oh my gosh, who's this? I'm like, I know her.
She's a
And
racket
then,
sport girl. Yeah.
yeah, I love it. And then also, I think no one in my friend group can say this, is you were on season 25 of The Bachelor.
Briefly, if you want to count it. Made a brief cameo. Still
Can
a
you walk us through
wild.
how that happened?
Oh yeah. I mean, like it feels like so many moons ago at this point, but yeah, it was COVID. It was 27 or 2020. Jeez. 2020. And my next door neighbor, Katie, nominated me without telling me. And she put down her email in the nomination. So they reached out to her. And then she sent me the email when they reached back out to like set up a first interview.
Wow.
And I thought it was like some weird prank. Like it was just like a weird time, you know? Um, so I didn't really believe her at first. And I thought that was like in retrospect really touching that she did that for me. And I was so calm in the interview process because at no point did I think they were going to cast me. And I think that's what ended up like helping me in the process. Like I was just really myself.
I love it. When I saw that, I was like, this is incredible. If anyone's going to do it, it's going to be you.
Yeah, it was good. I just wasn't expecting to be as overwhelmed as I was, to be honest, like in production. And yeah, I don't know. It was just a wild experience though. And I'm like really proud of myself for just going for something. Like it was very nerve-wracking. I was not I'm like a flaming extrovert too, and I just wasn't expecting that to be the experience, but I'm really glad I went for it. All the women were amazing. Can't say much anything negative about them.
Were you into Matt James at all?
I don't think I got a chance to really like get to know him in the same way. He probably felt like it was really hard for him too to like even in his like kickoff toast, we had to refilm that like a handful of times because he kept having to
No.
restart. And like those are the things you don't see behind the scenes because I'm like, oh, he's nervous too.
Yeah,
So
it
yeah,
humanizes him. How did you
totally.
feel, you didn't get the first rose, so like how was that? Like you didn't have a rose to like freeze dry and keep forever in your
No,
cupboard.
it was so sweet because when I got home, all my friends were bringing me roses and I was like, thanks
Oh,
guys. It's so sweet. I did not feel aligned in that environment. I had a really difficult time. And I knew, so I'm also like an early bedtime girly. And leading up to filming, everybody was like, you're going to have so much fun. You're going to have so much fun. And I remember being in like full hair, makeup, mic'd up in my gown at like 3 p.m. And we didn't stop filming the first episode until like 10 a.m. the next day. So I was just like so
no
tired,
way.
so zombie mode. I was so like disconnected by the end of even filming that first episode. Like, I remember during the rose ceremony, which took forever to film, there's like 50 cameras, and you're standing there for hours, you're so tired. So when they show, like, clips of me, I'm just like a shell of myself, like, I'm just, like, not there. Um,
Yeah.
and, like, it was, like, awesome meeting all the girls, but honestly, like, after being so disconnected from my world for so long, I just remember I kept thinking, like, "I'm so excited to go back to real life right now, like, this doesn't feel like real life." It's like, and that's okay. Like, I'm not trying to, like, yuck anybody's yum for those who maybe did have a different experience. It just wasn't for me, and that's okay. So I wasn't, like, heartbroken or anything like that. I was more like, "Wow, okay, what a weird time. I'm so tired. Like, let's go home."
And what a great thing to learn about yourself. Like, it's I mean,
Yeah.
that has to be, like, the main point of that whole experiment, right? Because what a strange world to be in.
Yeah, what a strange world. I'm, like, really proud of myself, though, because I really did show up as, like, true as possible throughout all of that. Um I'm, like, a pretty hardcore girls girl too, and I told them that, like, leading up to that, like, I just, like, love women. Like, it's really gonna be hard for me to I made for very boring TV, I'll say that.
You would have been like, "No, you take my rose. Like, I want
No, like,
you to succeed."
I'm not gonna say anything negative. Yeah, it's just, like, I think I was a very boring contestant for them, and I get it. That's okay. There's worse things to be on a reality TV show.
So then after that experience, you go home, and since this is
Mhm.
a dating self-advocacy podcast, I
Yeah.
know there's more to you than who you date, but what did your
Yeah.
dating life look like after that? I get the whole world now
Oh.
knows you're eligible.
Yeah, I was so overwhelmed by the number of messages and, um,
Like
like
dating messages?
yeah, like, you film the episode, but the actual season doesn't air for, like, many months after that, and it was, like, funny, like, I knew that I was going to appear on the show, but, I couldn't say anything for months, and then, like, I also couldn't be like, "Guys, like, I didn't do very well." Like,
Right.
"Just be warned, like, you're not gonna see much of me, that's okay." But the episode I was on, I was like, "Yeah, like, got a fun edit," I wasn't upset about that by any means, but, yeah, it was, like, very interesting to see. I was getting, like, handwritten letters to my house. I was getting, like, hundreds of DMs overnight. It was pretty overwhelming. And then, in true form, I, like, just wanted to go back to my real life and, like, be where I am, which is in Denver, and started dating the guy sitting right across from me at work, who became my
Really?
fiancé 5 years later. Yeah.
Were you working there before the show?
Oh, yeah.
So you were
So
friends with
yeah.
him,
Yeah, I was friends with him leading up to it and told him about it too, like, he was aware.
and then
Yeah.
a romance develops, and you guys are dating for how long before you get
Almost
engaged?
5 years. Yeah,
5 years, wow.
yeah. So it was, like, from yeah, starting, like, right after I went on the show. I think when I think when Jared and I met, we were on, closer frequencies, and then as you just grow, I think where we started was probably, like, here, and where we ended was around here.
Earlier this year, Saneh posted on Instagram the caption, "Warning, this is a breakup post." She goes on to explain that she's called off her engagement and has ended her 5-year relationship. This post really struck a chord with people all over the world, and they shared it hundreds of times.
The way I can describe it best is it felt like death by 1,000 mosquito bites. Like, it wasn't one big catastrophic event. It was
Mhm.
like a slow burn of growing into, different frequencies.
And you both were realizing this, do you think? Or were you more aware?
I think I'll preface, like, we had the most, like, grounded, mature, kind breakup. Like, when it was, like I haven't, like, thought about this for a second too, but, like, I'm really grateful that even though I don't think we were each other's life partners, we were so respectful and mature and kind to one another, like, in the process of decoupling. I wouldn't have ever posted anything about him without having him read the whole thing first and talking with him. Like, I had a full conversation with him. He read the exact post that I ended up posting. He was super supportive of it. He said, "It's beautifully written, like, very grateful for you." Like, it was a very kind conversation,
How
and it was
incredible to have that
also
relationship. Like,
yeah, like, that's what I'm saying,
the
like, I wouldn't have spent this much time with somebody unless he was he's a
yeah.
great person, but not a great partner for me, like, that's kind of
Mhm.
the headline of all of it,
How long had you been sitting on the decision to
to say
end
something.
things? Yeah, or to say first
Oh,
to call off the engagement and then to say something.
mm, I knew you were gonna ask this question, and I was thinking about it because I was like, there was no one distinct moment. It was just like, the best way I can describe it is just, like, so many mosquito bites that I think ultimately led to like, we went on a 2-week trip to Japan and then came back, and 3 days later, we broke up, and a lot of people would surmise that, "Oh, what happened in Japan?" And we were like,
Right.
"We had a great trip, like, it was the best vacation we had ever been on. It was so much fun. We're great travel buddies. We're great roommates. We're great business partners. We're great friends to each other." Um, so I can understand, like, why that would be so confusing to, like, have this dynamic with somebody, and then also like, I even said it in my post, we could have continued on that path and probably been fine, had a good life together, but I think a really important thing is, like, good but not great. Like, if you have this gut feeling that's lingering, it's gonna whisper until it screams, you know? Like, if it's there,
Yeah.
it's always gonna be there, and,
100%.
yeah, like, a lot of women who reached out, their question is just like, "I don't know what to do." And my answer is like, I think if you're thinking that this isn't your person and thinking of a breakup, then you know the answer. Like, you already have the answer in you. You gotta figure it out how to move forward and say the hard thing out loud. But I think if anybody gets to the point of breaking up, it's always a good thing,
Hmm.
you know?
That's so wise to say. I do think that there's also a conditioning to think that, like, relationships are just going to be hard. You obviously love them and want
Mhm,
to you see a part of yourself with them,
mhm,
but that still small voice, like, that you described in your post and that I also felt with mine, like, to
mhm,
honor that is like bungee jumping. I guess also my question would be, like, how did the voice show up for you? Like, for me, like, my
mm,
foot started tapping nonstop, and I wasn't eating the same. I was oversleeping
mhm.
significantly. Like, I could never get enough sleep, and, like, that was how the voice showed up for me.
Yeah, like well, I think the physical signs showed more after the breakup, where it made me more aware of what was going on, but, I wrote about this in the post, but my Aura Ring has clocked, like, record low, like, resting heart rates, record high sleep scores, like, in a healthy way, not oversleeping, but, like, I was having trouble sleeping, and, my heart rate was just, like, at a resting higher rate than it should have been, and I I think I was, like, conditioned so much to just, like, be in that way, like, as a natural state that I didn't realize how much my body needed to exhale, and that came after the breakup.
But how are you
It's
able
pretty
to
telling.
differentiate that, like, this is something that needs to come to an end versus something that we can work on and fix?
Mm, I think there's, like, only so many conversations you can have. I think I we just arrived at a certain point of, like, we are incompatible, and, like, no amount of work and talking about it is going to change our baseline. Like, we are innately incompatible people, and you hear so much relationship advice too, like, well, if they have like 70%, you can work on the other 30%, like all these
Yeah.
things about like
Like, it's
working
supposed to
on
be
your
hard.
relationship, like working on it, working on it, working on it. And I was just like, at a certain point, like when people ask me now what I'm looking for, I'm like, I'm looking for ease. Like, I'm looking for just like compatibility and ease. Like, I think life is hard. I don't think relationships need to be hard. And um to answer your question, like, it never felt like ease. Like, it felt like a lot of work. It felt like we were trying to take 2 compatible people and, like, see eye to eye sometimes where we just weren't going to, and, like, that's okay. It took my gut whisper, 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 and gradually getting louder over time, and being so afraid to say those words out loud because when you're in so deep with somebody, it's like, how do you even begin the process of decoupling? I didn't even tell my parents, and they were grieving with me. They were heartbroken with me because I didn't even tell them.
Did
Um,
anyone know?
no, no, and I felt this like big sense of protection to him because for what I thought at the time, like this is the person I was committing to, and you feel this sense of like they are a reflection of who you are. And if you share too much and if you say these words out loud, it's really, you can't take them back at that point. So I knew when I finally said it out loud to my best friend, I was like, all right, can't go back after that. Like once you say it, because you don't want to be that person who just like complains about their partner all the time and like doesn't actually do anything about
Yeah.
it. So
What is it
anyway,
you said?
I looked over and said, I have to break up with him, don't I? Like, very distinctly in the car before pickleball.
And she said, yeah.
Mhm.
Did you have doubts going into the engagement?
Speaking of feeling unaligned, when I think about the day I got engaged, my heart rate increases. And this is like a year later, too. I've had so much time to sit with this. But, like, speaking of a day where my gut was screaming at me, my gut was screaming at me the entire day I got engaged, and I knew it was coming. I got my nails done. Like, I was like, I
I
knew
did
it was
too.
coming. Yeah. I picked out the ring. Like, I knew it was coming. There was 0 element of surprise, and that whole day, my gut was just screaming at me, like, every single part of the day. It was one of the most anxious days I think I've ever had in my life, and no part of it felt like I was in it. Like, it didn't feel like that day was for me at all. It felt like we were presenting to the world,
Hmm.
and it didn't feel like it was for me at all. And that's largely how our relationship felt. It's like we were very good at presenting to the world, um, and there are parts of him that I love, like and I do love the way he presents, but, like, at the end of the day, it's like 40 years from now, it's just the 2 of you. Like, it when everything boils down, it's just you guys, you know? And that day, it didn't felt like it didn't feel like just us. It felt like there's so much noise and overstimulation going around that I couldn't just, like, be with myself. And in the moments that I could, I was like, "Oh, she's not good right now."
Yeah.
Very unwell that day.
Do you think
Yeah.
performing or having the crowd dictate how you felt kept you afloat for as long as it did?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, early in our relationship, I posted a TikTok that went viral that was about him, and it was, like, flooding with comments like, "Girl, you gotta marry th he's oh my god, where do I find somebody like this?" Like, drink like, he just, like he presents and that is part of who he is too. I'm not trying to say that, like, that version of him isn't real, but it's just a part, you know, like, that's not our relationship, it's just, like, how he presents as part of who he is. So I definitely felt this like we had this like amazing story of finding each other and like we've built this amazing community together. Like, you know, so yeah, totally. Like the world looking in was a huge part of why we stayed together for that long.
It's out of deep, deep empathy that I asked this question. How have you explained when they're like, "Well, then why did you get engaged if you
Hmm.
had your gut screaming at you?"
Great question. I wish I could just go back and hug me like a year ago and be like, girl, you don't have to do it. Like, it's okay. The ironic part is that it only becomes more complicated the longer you put things off. Like, it only becomes more complicated. I can't tell you how many women have messaged me saying, "My wedding is in 1 month. I don't wanna marry this person." I've had friends get married who knew before the wedding that they were feeling this way and have since gotten divorced. I have friends who have had children, like, it just gets more complicated, um, and I think in the moment, it's so much more comfortable to ignore whatever is yelling at you in there, and I have a feeling that a lot of people feel this way, and you just play 30-year-old musical chairs and whoever you're dating at the time of the age where everybody's getting married, like, you are comfortable with them, life becomes so comfortable, um, it's like this good not but not great, you know? Like, you can continue on that path, um, so, yeah, why did I do it? It's like, why do we do anything that we're not totally happy with? Why do people stay in jobs that they're not totally happy with? Why do people stay in friendships? Why do people stay in cities? Why do people pursue degrees and careers that they not, you know what I mean? Like, it's the same reason. It's like a combination of people looking in and wanting to have this element of like, I'm on the path, like I'm doing it. I found a great person. And it's so comfortable to stay there once you have kind of invested that much time. In the same way, any big life bucket, you know?
You've also never done it before, so you think maybe it does go away. Like, when you're in college and you, like, hate a semester, you don't, like, necessarily like, I hated the beginning of college, and it's like you
Mm,
push through and then these good things come. But for some reason, a relationship is so different than that. And, like,
yeah.
the more you push through it, like you were saying, the divide just widens and
Mhm.
widens. And you
I
do
think
start to
so.
lose
Yeah.
yourself. Something you wrote, which I thought was so beautiful in your post, that you are not just walking away from a relationship, but you are walking home to
Walking back home to
yourself.
yourself. Yeah. Yeah.
That's like, it made me cry when I read it the first time.
Mm.
Yeah.
It made me cry writing it. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you been able to go back and hug a
Mhm.
year ago you?
Every version of me I've been able to hug. Like, you're meeting, like, the most healed, grounded version of me that is yet to exist, and, like, um, the relationship I have with me, I wish that that was the advice I heard, is, like, as long as you have you, like, yes, having community and partnership and friendship, like, all these things are so important, but, like, as long as you've got her, oh, man, like, I think the whole point of all of this is, like, the journey back to you, and I've been able to just, like, sit with her and spend a lot of time with her, and I'm, like, thinking forward now, even, like, my perspective about relationships has shifted so much where it's not this, like, aspiration of mine, it's more just, like, I don't need it, but I'm hopeful because, like, what a cool part of life that would be to experience, like, a partnership that feels so connected and aligned, but, like, the whole point is already right here, and, like, you don't need to have like, your life doesn't begin when you find the partner, you're already on this journey with you the whole time. I think that's been, like, the biggest thing I can tell people is, like, it's in you the whole time. You don't need to, like, search for this thing. I think it's a scam. I know there's,
Yeah.
like, really beautiful partnerships out there, and I'm not saying anything, I'm hopeful for that one day, but, like, this whole, like, false sense of urgency and timeline, it's not real. Like, I just don't subscribe.
And, like, the wedding industry and society and friends and, like, you post that you're engaged, and that gets way more attention than you post that you
Mhm.
got a degree or
Oh, yeah,
you bought a
people just get
house.
so psyched about it. Yeah.
Because that's, like, a version of you finally that society feels like you've been able to find, and,
Yes.
like, you weren't really you until you were able to
Mhm.
couple with someone, which is
Mhm.
the complete opposite.
Which is a scam. Yeah, but it's
Mhm.
what we've been fed our whole life, and I think even now I'm like, am I still, like, deep-rooted conditioned to believe this? Like, I'm really trying to sift through, like, what I actually feel, but it's hard when, like, your whole life you're fed kind of this path, And then when you're on the path, you're getting so much attention and like validation from the world, like, good job, you did it, you know? And like,
Yeah.
as soon
And
as
that's your
you
fuel.
yeah, it's your fuel, and then as soon as you start going a different direction, people are like, "Arr," but that's also a scam though, because I've never felt so authentically connected to people's stories until I got really brave and put that out there, and the response I got from that was so much more real than the response I got from when I announced my engagement. Like,
Hmm.
that felt real to me, and I couldn't believe how much of a shared experience like, this probably happened to you too. Like, so many people have been in this position, but you just don't hear about it, obviously, because people aren't announcing it. It's
Right.
kind of a crazy move for both of us to do, but hey, I'm glad we
It
both
is.
did it.
Yeah, I did mine during the pandemic and it was like, I don't know who's listening, but like I've got to bail. And like,
I
do
gotta
you
go.
yeah, like I have a journey to take and it's not in this direction. Like,
Yeah, straight up.
did you lose friends
Mhm,
after calling it off?
mhm. Like, a lot of our mutual friends. 'Cause I moved from Florida, again, go Gators, like, straight from
Go
UF to
Gators. Yeah.
Colorado, and didn't know anybody in Denver. So, like, I met him pretty early on. A lot of our community was, like he's from Colorado, so a lot of the community were people he introduced me to. Um, and, like, definitely had to it was like breaking up with an entire group, and I, like, totally wish them all the best, but, like, that's not a path that I can continue crossing like I had. And, like, fortunately, I think something I did, like, hugging past me moment, like, "Thank you, girl," was, like, having a range of community. Like, I had my own hobbies, I bought my house, like, I have a career that I love, and I have friends in many buckets.
The qualifications we put on marriage now have only encouraged all the buckets to go into one bucket, which I
Yeah.
do
I
think makes decoupling harder.
Oh, yeah. When that person is, like, your all-in-one person. I do think, though, like, in retrospect, like, I was too comfortable living such an independent life, and it was kind of like this flex of, like, "Oh, yeah, like, I don't need my partner to be all these things to me because I can find them everywhere else and in myself." And in reality, I think that was, like if I had to say something really, really honest, like, from my deep gut, it was my subconscious telling me that I shouldn't be continuing to invest in him because I need to find it elsewhere and I wasn't gonna get it there. And even, like, buying the house, I bought a house 4 years ago, like, it's just my name on it, and everybody panicked about the house being like, "What about your guys' house? Like, you moved in together," and I was like, "I bought it." Like, we specifically never shared a big asset together, and I'm so grateful for that decision. Like, it made it so much easier, like, from a financial standpoint too, and logistically.
For you, one of the things that struck me the most about your post was that it was after you turned 30.
Mhm,
What role do you think that played into it of like 20s sayonara,
mhm.
this is me?
Yeah, I literally, like, turned 30 and flipped my whole life upside down, I feel like. Yeah, something in my brain was just like, "Step into it." Like, this is what you say, what you feel, what you think, what you do, like, all of those things need to be aligned, and my nervous system was telling me they weren't.
Have you guys seen each other? Do you keep
Mm-mm.
up? Was it a
I have
cold
not
turkey?
I'm like a big clean cuts girl. Like, I think you can still be on very, like, kind terms with somebody and also acknowledge that they don't need to be part of your life anymore. Like, I don't need to see him. And so, I remember the day that he was moving out is the last day I saw him, and I was planting a tree in the front yard as he was pulling out of the driveway. I'm like, "What a, like,
Wow.
circle of life moment." I don't think it's anything I'm scared of, like, I think I've just, like, healed from it, and if I saw him now, great. Like, I'm not gonna
That's
panic or have
incredible.
this, like, freak out moment, it's like, this is somebody that I shared so much life with, like, I will always be grateful for him, like, I will always, like, hold him in, like, a really special place, and, like, I don't have, like even though we didn't end up, like, spending our lives together, we spent so much life together, and, like, that's not somebody, like, I'm gonna have resentment toward, like, I don't have any ill will toward him, and I'm, like, really rooting for him, like, I even made this joke, like, if, like, a woman approached me, wanted to back channel him and be like, "What was he like as a boyfriend?" I'd be like, he's a great guy," like, I wouldn't feel any type of way if, like, somebody else wanted to date him, I'm like, "You should, he's great."
That's
So,
incredible. What a
yeah.
like, was that a hurdle you had to jump, or that was there from the beginning?
I think it was there from the beginning, like, I've always respected him so much as a person and as a friend, and I think the layer that we were missing was this, like, soul-tied romantic connection and, like, that being my person, but, like, that doesn't mean all these other parts of him didn't exist.
Well, like you said, there wasn't an explosion. No one
No
betrayed
catastrophe.
the other. So to
Mm-mm.
end amicably, it doesn't mean the hurt's not there, but
Yeah,
the respect is, and that's huge.
the
That's an
respect is there. Yeah, a
mhm.
lot of love and respect, yeah. We, like, talked to each other's parents too, like, it was I ran into his best friend, hugged him, had a great chat with him. Like it wasn't, it doesn't need to be. And I think that's like a big message that I want to put out there is like, it doesn't need to be this catastrophic thing. Like if you are in a position where you're feeling this way, it can be a beautiful transition. I'm not saying it wasn't hard and so painful in the moment. It's like so raw and feels like the impossible breakup. But like it doesn't need to be this catastrophic thing. It can be like a really nice organic transition into like the next phase of your life, you know?
And so much of the grieving is the expectation and what could have been as well.
What could have been? You're grieving. I mean, if it's so sad. Like you're grieving this life that you imagined with this person. But you know what's more hard, I think, is like grieving a life that you're never going to get to experience if you feel like in any way you're settling or this is not an aligned person for you. Like that's the real grief.
It's so true. Thank you for being so brave and
You're
sharing your
welcome.
story.
I do wanna say though, like I said this in an Instagram DM too, but I distinctly remember reading your post when you made this transition, and if it wasn't for reading things like that, I wonder how brave I would have been. Like, you really were like a trailblazer for me because I hadn't seen anybody write about that, let alone somebody I knew. Who I like looked up to so much. Like you've always been somebody I've looked up to. And
Mm.
seeing you write that and make that decision allowed me to feel really brave and do that, which then allowed other people to do the same thing. So I just want to like really thank you for setting the precedent for me to be brave.
I'm
You
so
really
proud
did
of
that.
you.
All
I'm
these years later, I remember that too.
It's incredible. It's incredible, like, how interwoven we are, and, like, sharing is so important. It
Hmm.
doesn't have to be on a big stage, but I think what you were saying earlier about, like, all of these people who have been writing you, friends
Hmm.
that you know, people that you don't know, it's
Hmm.
like, well, where were you when I was having doubts, in a way? But then
Mm.
it's also like, I didn't know I was having doubts until I knew, and then you don't publish your doubts. Like,
No.
publish the result of the doubts, and there's this, like, time where you're flying blind, where
Hmm.
you don't know who to look to, and I think you sharing your story has given also a very shined a bright light on that gray, empty space
Yeah.
of when people start to have doubts to making a decision.
And you don't
So,
have to do that alone, and realizing, like,
yeah.
so many people are experiencing that right now. I got 2 more messages last week. Like, it's
Wow.
still happening that
What do you
people
tell them? What's, like, your resounding Sonny St. Clair advice?
I think the resounding like, what I want people to know the most is, like, you don't need to search for the answer anywhere but in you. Like, chances are you already know the answer, and just saying it to somebody can be so healing and, like, so freeing. Um So I think my answer to them is always like, I think if you're getting to the point of this, you already know the answer. Like it's in you. Um, and like, you don't owe anybody a version of your life that isn't true for you. So like, it sounds corny and cliche, but like, who are you doing all this for? Okay, like, you can continue on this path of like wanting to look like you have it all together to the outside world, but like, this is all for you. At the end of the day, who cares? Like you should only be living a life that's true to you. And when you do that and make aligned decisions, alignment's going to find you back,
And what
you
a
know?
beautiful way to start being yourself again by saying, here you go.
Here's all of it.
Here it
Yeah.
is.
Like nobody does this. Here's my breakup post.
I
Yeah.
respect it so much. I respect you. And I thank you so much for sharing your
Mm,
story. I
thanks for
hope
having
people
me.
can share this with their friends who have doubts and won't feel
Mm,
so alone. Your story's really, really impactful.
yours is too.
Find out why Saneh St. Clair is considered the greatest of all time on The Bachelor on Instagram at @via_Leah. And please be sure to like, subscribe, and share this podcast. This episode was produced by the Anthology Group.